probably gotten used to my annoying as voice by now, and joining me for tonight's cast is Lazblast.
Good evening, everybody. So yeah, back for my second. Inaugural cast was earlier this week, so this is only my second. So hopefully everything will go okay tonight.
So tonight we've got Russian Jade Falcon facing off against EON Synergy. So the second place team at the World Championships versus one of the semi-finalists. Looking through both teams' previous form, Russian Jade Falcon didn't play in week 1, having postponed their match against Black Spikes to week 7. So we don't have any form from this season to go off for them. EON Synergy, meanwhile, had a 3-2 loss against Phoenix Legion due to Phoenix Legion's better preparation, frankly. So going to be interesting to see how EON come back tonight, whether they really come out of the box swinging or whether RJF have done their homework, practiced, scrimmed hard, and can get the jump on them.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one. But so far we're not seeing any of the teams go 5-0, are we? I mean, even Phoenix Legion up the top there, 7 drops 1.
We did see first Jaguar Guards go 5-0 against White Death Mercenary Company in week 1, followed up by a 4-1 loss to Phoenix Legion. So Phoenix Legion currently topping the table after 2 matches played, 2,525 reputation points, 25 points ahead of first Jaguar Guards, just demonstrating the importance of killing every single mech you can and maximising your bonus points.
Yeah, that's where it's at, isn't it? Is getting those bonus points and getting those mech kills. Was it 300 for a win? So more potential on the table for the mechs, right?
Correct, and you've got the 50 bonus reputation from each drop. So in drop 1, killing off a number of mechs. The same in drop 2, can be any class, just the number of mechs you kill off is the important thing. And then after that, followed by drop 3, killing the commanding mech and also keeping your own alive at the same time. Drop 4, killing all the heavies and assaults, and drop 5, killing off all the assaults.
Yeah, getting rid of that tonnage. I mean, you're gonna want to anyway. But yeah, complete ripe on all 4 assaults to get those extra 50 points. Yeah, that's it's gonna be tough at this high level, isn't it?
Also, quick note, looks like the stream has gone dead.
Apologies, folks. That's probably going to be me mistiming the gap between, I'm going to guess, Daiichi. So apologies, that's on me. Those of you, if you're still listening in, folks, or you'll be getting this in, 5 minutes time. I had a Windows patch about half an hour pre-game that decided to wipe my mic, so there was a lot of reinstalling at this end. So apologies for that, some slight technical difficulties. I believe that will now come up, Daiichi. It's just going to come up, mate. But it'll probably have a... At most, it's going to be 5 minutes, right? It's going to be the difference between the stream delay and the pre-stream. Next time, we'll just I'll just run the pre-stream from my end. It won't be an issue. I'm starting to see names come into this room, by the way, mate. You there, Di?
I certainly am.
Excellent. Yeah, it's definitely... Pre-stream's definitely shut down, so yeah, at most it's going to be that 5 minutes caused by me using the automated tool tonight, not running it off my end. So
Okay, so Russian Jade Falcon have 6 of their pilots in lobby now. I've just sent an invite to Lizzie.
Yep, let's start getting the teams together. Do you want to have a look at the team rosters? Is it a good time?
Yep, sounds good to me. So looking through Russian Jade Falcon's roster, a bit larger than some of the teams, not as large as others. Mostly, as we've discussed before match, we see large rosters predominate the lower divisions, with the higher divisions really just keep restricting it to just a few tight-knit players who regularly turn up to practice.
Yeah, what was the record you told me? Who was it? His Aces have got every single of their pilots signed up on MRBC just in case?
Yeah, Ace as well from North America, every single pilot from the unit is listed on their roster. So in the case of RJF, the big changes for them this season has been the fact that they've added pilots from Russian Clan Wolf as well as from TCAF.
Right, and I mean, who on that list does that affect? The new guys?
So Sherman 1900, Terminator 20, Lev Wyvern, we were saying as well, MK4 Iron 9661, interesting name, but Dan Airwalker, my co-caster most of the time, obviously is the team captain, along with Pelmashek, Nick Drazeri, and Volkanov. So Pelmashek is well known as one of the best light pilots in Europe. He and Buria wreaked absolute havoc last season when people were still not fully expecting the machine gun meta to really kick into gear.
Yeah, I mean, that caught a few people on the hop, didn't it? And I'd be curious to see if PGR are now shifting that. I mean, Heavy's getting a bit of a buff the other day, but not enough for my eye to bring those back into contention, would you say?
Yeah. The thing with Heavies to bear in mind is it is a tremendous amount of face time, and machine guns really are a late game match weapon. They're not so much early start because
they're relying on the
crits. To spend staring.
Yeah, they're relying on the
face time
crits.
Spending staring is just going to leave you exposed to anyone who can crack off a shot.
Yeah, hence we don't see votaries in high-level play, or, I mean, to be honest, we don't see votaries in low-level play even, really, do we? They're just not a competitive weapon.
They're extremely tonnage inefficient, but jam too frequently, and as you said, face time is immense on them.
Yeah, so there you go. So I guess let's have a look at the EON roster. See if I can toggle over to that.
So you can't really talk about EON without talking about Dared, one of the best light pilots in the game, as he proved at Worlds, consistently managing to clutch wins. Give me 2 seconds, I just need to invite someone else to lobby.
Alright, I'm just getting the teams together here in the background, folks, so hopefully you're seeing that. While we're doing that, just we have got some giveaway codes tonight, so I guess time to plug that. I think, what do we have, Di? We have a 24-hour to do after drop 1, 24 hours of premium time. Drop 3, I think we're going to do a mech bay.
We'll do a mech bay.
Drop 4, because Bandit passed on his Irby mech the other night. I drew Bandit and Irby mech, another of the casters, and he hasn't claimed that. So after drop 4, I'm going to give away my inaugural stream Urban mech. And then drop 5, what is it, 1000 MC?
That is correct.
So, yeah, quite a few little bits and bobs to give away to you guys tonight. So, we'll do the draws. Hopefully we'll try to keep them popping up on the chat. But if you do win a draw, do hit us up, and we'll do it, because if not, we'll probably give it away to someone else. So, yeah, watch the chat, guys. And I see now, the stream has indeed gone live. So, yeah, all technical issues sorted. We are rolling.
Love the spelling. Diadachi. Got the I and the A around the wrong place, bro.
Dear, I mean, you just can't get the stuff, can you? Yeah, we can fix that. There we go. That's fixed. In 5 minutes, I'll pop up, right? It's this 5 minutes. It's just brilliant. It's just brilliant. Yeah. And now the overlay's screwy because I was busy doing that. Right. Let's just reset that back to pregame.
Just having a bit of a laugh at my expense Twitch chat there. Okay, so both teams are locking in now. So let's have a quick look through the map strap, I'd say.
Yeah, let's pull the map. So drop 1, we're going to be looking at
Polar Highlands in domination game mode.
Yeah, Polar Lurmlands, but without the Lurms, because competitive. So reconnaissance, 4 lights, 4 mediums, usual rules on duplicates. We have strikes this season, and they're getting their bonus points for destruction of 5 enemy mechs, as you mentioned earlier, Di. So
correct.
Map strat,
and there is also the fact that no lock-on weapons are allowed in drop 1.
Right, so none of your streaks, none of your ATMs. Not again that we see a lot of those in competitive play, but again, people occasionally do weird stuff, don't we? So.
So looks like Russian Jade Falcon are locked, just waiting on EON now. There's not a lot to say here really. You make use of the trenches to make your way up. Obviously the team that gets into the circle first has the advantage. From the team 2 position, really the I-8 position is stronger, or the Hotel 8 position. Both of them allow you a slight overwatch position to see who's coming through from the other side. Teams will typically try and set up in a concave to receive a push, or will push in a concave themselves just in order to focus fire on mechs as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Really, this all comes down to who has the stronger focus fire.
Right, and the circle itself being raised, so sometimes we see them pushing just a little bit around the edge rather than straight across the top. What do you think the teams are going to do tonight?
Honestly, EON are a caged team who prefer to sit back, let the team, or the enemy team, try to set their own strategy and then counter it.
Right,
they drill often off that they know most strategies in the game and can counter them. At that point, it all comes down to individual pilot skill.
So what do you reckon, a sort of a concave line you're saying somewhere around about, this sort of region, do we expect down near that beta point, you're making use of the berm? Would that be your feeling for
them? Honestly, I would say that's maybe likely. I can't say for sure. I haven't seen either of these teams on this map, so honestly, I think what they take mech-wise will dictate what their strategy is. Whether they take bushwhackers running SRMs, whether they take Stormcrows. With the advent of Solaris, we've seen some people make mistakes recently in bringing Solaris mechs in.
Oh no, that's going to hurt. Potentially no consumables, not enough ammunition. I mean, what's the upside? Oh, not enough engine. Yeah, the upside's probably going to be a hideous amount of firepower for the first 30 seconds, and then you're done.
But again, it's drop one. You're aiming to dish out a lot of firepower. The main problem is if you're not going fast enough, then you risk being left behind and not being able to bring your guns to bed before the fight's decided.
Right, so hypothetically, if we saw somebody do that and drop a Solaris mech, if the other team was able to ID that quickly, what you're saying is we'd see an 8-on-7 push very early to try to take advantage of that.
Well, if you look at drop one that EON had versus Phoenix Legion last week, and it's the mark of teams at the top levels, the second one Huntsman was out of position, Phoenix Legion pushed, ruthlessly isolated that mech, destroyed it, and then kept moving on, forcing EON to abandon the high ground a few at a time, and then just isolating those mechs as they came down, so the rest of the team couldn't bring their fire to bear. And I think that was the main reason why it was such a commanding lead they had in drop one.
And I mean, psychology. These guys are top teams. Obviously, they've played. Some of the guys have got experience at the World Championships and so forth. Is the psychology of drop one a big thing, or do the guys just take this as what it is? It's domination. They're both good teams. It could go either way, and then they really get into it for drop two. What's your feel on that?
Honestly, if they do badly in drop one, they'll get angry, but they'll just set out to do even better. If you look at World Championships, EON were angry when they lost drops, but they focused and they took Imperial closer than any other team ever has.
Right. So, yeah. So basically, we're not quite sure. It's drop one. It's drop one. It's domination. We'll wait to see what's happening. I'm seeing 15 green. Just looks like we're waiting on perhaps Lizzie there, and then looks like we're going to get going on this. As you're tuning into perhaps your first MRBC, the teams get up to 15 minutes per drop to coordinate themselves and make any changes they wish to. They are allowed to change their pilots out on their rosters. Do you think we'll see any of that? I mean, top level play again, I would expect not. I'd expect them to run the same 8. But specialist pilots in role, do they do anything like that, do you think, these teams?
They do, yes. Both teams have confirmed their locked, so can launch.
Okay.
So there is definitely a place for specialist pilots, and most teams will have dedicated light, medium, heavy or assault pilots, with the top performing pilots going into each role. So some pilots start off as heavy pilots and someone else who's better goes into that role. If you look at World Championships 2017, Proton, who all through 2016 Worlds was a dedicated assault pilot, moved into a heavy because he played the Dragon really well, and also because Twinkie played their assault so dominantly.
Right. I mean, again, some teams I've heard talking about it, they want to get their 8 drilled religiously and they try to use the same 8, but again, if individual skills are stronger in a certain category, that would make sense.
Alright, so do you want to select EON or Russian J Falcon for the team you look at first?
You've got the more experience. You pick, Dai. Which one do you want?
I'll have a look at RJF.
Okay, so you've got blue team, so I'll fly across the map here and get a look at.
And dropships coming in.
Yep. Just seeing two
So
dropships
straight
on both
away,
sides.
Arctic Wolf P, Mislinks, Hunchback 2C, Wolfhound, Hunchback, Wolfhound, Nova, and an Arctic Cheetah. So no duplicates from also Wolfhound duplicates for Russian Jade
Got
Falcon.
Wolfhounds. Okay, I've got Mislinks for EON, a B and a G model. We've got that Hunchback. We've got Wolfhound. We've got an Arctic Cheetah, Nova Crab, and the other medium has eluded me there.
The Arctic Wolf.
The Arctic Wolf, of course. Yep.
So you can't talk about the Wolfhound without talking about Dalred. It is his mech. He knows how to play that better than most light pilots in this game.
Right, and I'm just bird dogging him now. Wolfhound 2, resistance variant, not that that matters. Looks like that is coming forwards very aggressively at the circle here.
Yep, so both teams in the circle at the same time. And RJF pushing straight in.
Yeah, a little wing of 3 of them coming up there. Not quite sure where that smoke's going though. Not sure even who threw it, but it looks to be a clean miss.
And look at where Den is on the far side, setting up in that Overwatch position in that Hunchback 2C. So almost guaranteed his aim will be to put ER medium laser fire down while the brawl's happening without having to worry about being hit in return.
And yep, just looking at, he's got 4 ER mediums and 2 large pulse, in fact, we're seeing on that mech from Den.
Classic build.
Yep,
He's
nothing
got to
wrong
be
with that.
careful though, because Kiko, Funky, Dalred, and Buria are all moving over towards him.
And it looks like EON forming almost on that concave arc that we drew up pre-match there, just over towards that beta point. Not quite a perfect concave line, making use of the terrain there, I'd say.
Damage-wise, only Eagle having taken anything of note so far at 94%.
Yeah, which is on a light is a scratch.
MK4I on 94%.
Whoa, slave labour though.
Down to 91.
Yeah, that was full CT burn there from those pulses. Looks like the Wolfhounds are swapping paint.
Kiko down to 57%.
Wow. Now 48, 44. I mean, looking for him. Where is he in this fight? He's just exposed himself. He's just come up on that berm and just seems to have gone high.
But look at what they've done. They've managed to force Den away from that edge, so he's going to have to spend time repositioning now to get that Overwatch again.
His Overwatch is not as effective as it could have been there, and it looks like they're getting a ball, EON getting a ball together here, almost on the central point. Now trading with Nick on the right-hand side there, and the other Hunchback for RJF. Slave labour coming forwards to do some of that work as well.
So Kiko down to 40%, but if you look at the remaining EON mechs, none of them are down below 76%.
Yeah.
On the other hand, for RJF, you've got MK4 down to 69%, Slave down to 74%, Nick down to 86%, and with that inner sphere Hunchback, if he loses that right hunch, he's useless.
Yeah, it looks like Seiko's lost one side torso there. He's still got 4 medium pulses though, so he's still in that.
Well, and the whole point of bringing that crab is the fact that it is a tank. It will just absorb inordinate amounts of punishment, and it doesn't have the weaknesses of the legs that the Bushwhacker does. Right.
So what would you say? I mean, it looked like perhaps a misplay there, just getting a bit high on the berm, but do you think he was deliberately trying to draw fire to facilitate that move by EON onto the central point there?
Well, the thing is, mediums are always the first mechs that get targeted rather than lights, because mediums are the bigger targets, they put out more damage.
Yeah.
The whole point of a Wolfhound is, also the crab, is the fact that it can put out pain without 6 medium pulse, or 5 in this case, without variant, but it's there to sponge damage. And MK4 down to 60% red.
Yeah, it looks like
strikes,
like he could be
a whole lot.
Spot above there. Yeah, so he's CT core, hasn't actually lost anything yet, but 6 MGs and 4 ER smalls on that, he's pulling it back. Presumably he'll hang off the back now and wait for the closing stages of the match to come back and be relevant with that MG loadout, you'd say?
Well, yeah, there's no point. No choice but to, really. And O'Neill down to 73%
Yeah,
being
and
isolated.
red lights on O'Neill there as well. That's a red 73, so he's taking some severe beating somewhere.
But both teams trying to force the other to overextend.
Yeah, right side torso open and not quite cherry red, deep orange for Colonel O'Neill there. So
Den down to 66% red cherry.
Yeah, looks like it's getting a bit decisive. Yeah, they're committing.
So Funky Cat goes down first for EON, and then Nova. Red takes out MK4. Den takes out Burrier next.
And then Duo wins
Slave. After Slave Labor. 2-all. Palmashek taking down Execo finally.
Looks like Shaman at the back there just a bit slow to get over that berm. Same with Leith Wyvern, just slightly slow into the fight there. Is that going to matter?
Darred takes down Den. I think it will, because if you look at the numbers now, yes, EON have some damaged people, but Lizzie still at 83%, Igor at 80%.
So you're thinking they're gonna pull it back? They're gonna start dropping these damaged mechs quickly? I mean, they've got to at 5-3.
Nick and Shaman are gonna go down quickly.
Yep.
Lo and behold, Lizzie takes down Terminator.
Okay, so Nick and Shaman are both red there.
Red takes down Left.
Yep.
And Lizzie's still on 72%. Gunning for Palmashek now as Shaman tries to pull out.
Self-destruction by Palmashek. Yeah, they knew they were in trouble though, so he was redlining that to try to get something to swing back. It's not going to work for them though. Shaman looks to be legged.
Pulling away, trying to minimise.
Shaman gone. Nick gone as well. Okay, so we see 8-5. So both teams getting the bonus. Just looking at the stats there, Di, pretty even actually there across the board. You'd say just that late engage perhaps really hurting there for the Jade Falcons.
Yes and no. I mean, you look at Darred, 4 kills, 4 assists, 453 damage. Lizzie, 2 kills, 5 assists, 485. You know, even O'Neill on 8 assists, 432 damage. He was just a pain in the ass that they couldn't ignore the entire match. You know, on the RJF side, Palmashek 456 damage, Den Airwalker 442. So there's a much more even spread of damage on the RJF side, I'd say. But Kiko and that crab, he did his job. He was just something that couldn't be ignored.
I mean, you're seeing more damage there for the Wolfhands, for the light mechs actually dealing the damage, but as you say, the mediums acting in that quasi tank role and just soaking it up.
And the thing that sets apart teams at this sort of level is just the quality of play, people eking out every single last drop of performance they can out of MX. You know, the movement from them. People don't move in predictable patterns in straight lines. They dupe constantly. They're reassessing threats constantly. And the reaction time that comes from constant drilling just can't be underestimated. Yeah,
those anyone ex-military out there, OODA loops may mean something to you, but yeah, that speed of reaction is just key, isn't it? So we're seeing 350 rep there for EON taking the win and their 50 bonus. RJF coming in with 175, 5 mechs and the bonus also. So yeah, interesting start.
So shall we get onto that giveaway? So for everyone who's around, please be active in chat now and we'll give away that code.
Yeah, let's just do a... Okay, yeah, we're gonna load them in, and as soon as Latch catches up with me, we're gonna go get that giveaway. So this is for a 24-hour premium time code, super awesome giveaway time.
And for anyone who wins, please be sure to PM myself.
Yep, Di will be giving you your codes tonight. Looks like Funky Cats, if you're out there, send Di a PM and we will get you that code, man.
Oh, he's in match at the moment, so I don't know if he's watching your stream.
Well, let's wait and see. So you want to look at the map strat there, or shall we just Should we just talk perhaps a bit more around the next drop? We're going to see Alpine Peaks. What do you want to do there, Di?
I would say let's probably talk about the next drop because I think we're going to get far more variety of play on Alpine than we do on Polar Domination.
Right. Okay, so you got that one pulled up.
Just loading up for me now.
Quality. Okay, so 2 lights, 4 mediums, and 2 heavies. Same duplication rules as before. And again, we're looking for that bonus of 5 enemy mechs. But crucially, the first of tonight's 4 conquest games. So, yeah.
So Friday night, PHL versus JGX, we saw quite an interesting tactics from Phoenix Legion on side 2. They initially sent a mech over to Gamma, which Dan and I had thought they might ignore early on, and then had a Wolfhound and one other Overwatch mech come right up to the I9 peak afterwards and put Overwatch fire down because JGX had set themselves up with a concave line to keep control over Kappa as well as Fader. The rest of Phoenix Legion's mechs set up to trade around I7, not so much in the lower valley here. They won the light fight, and then as Data said after the match, once the light fight had been lost, really they had no choice but to abandon a Hotel 8 position and drop down to try and get control of the caps back. But in the process, they just got completely outplayed.
So, would you say going for that Gemma point was a mistake for them, or just were they slow on the execution? I mean, again, top teams, I can't imagine they would have been any slower than they had to be. I mean, the other night in EU Div D, we saw some very slow play towards that Gemma position that cost the team a game, but I just don't see that happening in Div A, right?
Apparently, Doyo's crashed for Buria, so just waiting on one of the pilots from EON to come back.
Just seeing that now.
To be honest, Team 1 has an advantage in this situation because they can get onto Epsilon and then set themselves up Overwatch. So unless Team 2 are really fast out of the blocks and take both Kappa and Fader, and then swing resources out to take Sigma as well, they can lose control of Kappa and Fader very quickly.
Right. So you'd say RJF
that said, if a team is...
So if you were trying for that Sigma point, you'd send some guys down, Charlie drop point, split them up and try for it as a counter to that positional advantage of Team 1?
To be honest, if I was dropping from Team 1, I would walk one mech through Epsilon with another light, briefly passing through just to soft cap it, and then having that light race onto Sigma straight away to try and wrest control of it, because if I've got control of it, then the Op4 has to send forces over for a longer period.
Yeah, so you're forcing them to split their force. Yeah. And then in the meantime, you'd establish your Overwatch lineup around that sort of Hotel 7, Hotel 8 area, presumably, and run it from there.
Alright, so we're just waiting on pilots to come back in. Realistically, this is all about control, and both these teams enjoy control strats, so I think you're going to see night gears as a possibility for teams that like setting up static Overwatch. You may see dragons being bought out.
Yep. How much of a difference would you say having strikes enabled this season is making?
Well, to be fair, you're not really seeing airstrikes have as much of an impact. I think the nerf hit them absolutely properly. The damage per shell is still a concern, but they're no longer as useful because of the reduced area of effect in forcing teams out of entrenched positions. Particular maps you'll see that have an impact on will be maps like Tourmaline Desert with mechs set up in the spire.
And some quite tight choke points out on Tourmaline as well, so you've got a better chance of hitting them.
But you're no longer going to start seeing strikes doing 400 or 500 damage in one hit, as we previously saw. RD strikes are unaffected in the duration or in the area of effect, but they are still
very random.
Dangerous on. They're dangerous on teams that pack in very tightly, but teams at Div A level rarely spread to that degree.
So, you know, you can take the things, so you'd be daft not to, but at the same time, you don't expect to get much back, is basically where we're at on strikes, you'd say.
Yeah, correct. They're still absolutely lethal for a light. You'll knock off 25% of a light in one hit if you strike it. So, looking at the teams now, we've got Russian Jade Falcon saying they're locked. We'll go over that once we've gotten both teams locking, just as far as lance placements go.
Yeah, sure. Still seeing 3 reds for them, but I'm guessing their pilots are happy and just ready to ready up when things show on the other side.
Yeah, correct.
Still missing a couple of pilots on the other side though, so as you discussed, perhaps people changing out for different roles.
Correct. The other thing I think you'll see from the Team 2 side, at least, is they have to control that point up there. So they can't allow Team 1 to get mechs up into there and just dictate the flow of the engagement. So you're almost certain to see someone like Dalred grabbing a Wolfhound or something else and getting up through there early on to just force them out.
Right. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
You put a PPC summoner up there against a light mech, and the light mech's going to chew it up for breakfast.
Yeah, any good light pilot will just take that as a nice chew toy and play with it. So do you want to have a look then at the EON side this time, and I'll take RJF when we get in, and just keep an eye on that play. Oh, in fact, actually no, because of course I've got to do it, haven't I? So I'll take EON again, and I'll go and make a point of looking for that play. See if we do see the Red or one of his colleagues get up on that I9 hill early.
Yep, sure.
Showing we have got 8 for both sides now, so just waiting here, guys, on both teams to declare locked. Although I'm now seeing a disconnect for
yeah, from left.
Yeah, for left. So perhaps just some technical dramas there.
So just briefing both teams that we'll just keep gas bagging until things are sorted out.
Yeah, so yeah, pretty much. That's always good, isn't it?
So one of the things I'm seeing from Twitch chat is that people discussing that spectator mode needs an auto kill cam that switches to first person on the player who gets the kill.
It would be nice if they fix the glitch first, whereby we lose all of our other stuff when we go into a first person cam, right?
Well, one of the things is that it's been discussed for a long time about getting a kill cam going, and PGI have actually said because MechWarrior Online uses CryEngine version 1.3, that functionality doesn't actually get introduced until CryEngine 1.5, and the cost of updating to 1.5 versus the return they get is just not sufficient.
Right, so that it's not going to go there. And indeed,
yeah, correct.
Rumours abound, of course. You know, if MW5 does well, will they do an engine upgrade for MWO? Possibly, but they aren't going to pull the trigger on that one and do a half-assed go in between, are they? They're going to wait and see what they do with
that. I think the other thing is, it depends on what kind of multiplayer functionality is able to be put into MechWarrior 5. MechWarrior Online is a cash cow in that people continue to help them pay the bills by buying mech packs. You know, when they stop selling mech packs or stop seeing enough people buy them, that is a point at which you will start seeing development drop off.
Right, figures. And then of course you've got the usual stuff about licensing, but hey, we're a bit off on the weeds in the technical stuff there, aren't we? We are now seeing, looks like, a bunch of green lights coming on, so hopefully we're close. Hopefully.
Fingers crossed. But it just seems like we've had nothing but technical problems for the last few days, just as far as teams having disconnects near on every match. So we're going to have to work on my small talk, I think.
Yeah, that Solaris MechLab stuff seems to have slowed the front end and just added a couple more hangs. I mean, to be fair to PGI, again, seeing some very quick hot fixes with crash fixes and so forth in there. But I mean, I guess to be expected, big content release, right?
Yes and no. It looks like. Do you remember the bug that happened a while ago, where it would literally check for your inventory every single time someone connects?
No, that thing. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, that was.
And I've had a couple of people say that when they removed weapons out of their inventory and mechs that they weren't using, they saw reduced load times.
Interesting.
So I'm not sure if there's a possibility that that's happened again.
Recurring bug? Could be.
Alright, so RJF are back to locked.
Yep, showing both teams locked, and away we go.
Launching. So the interesting thing for me is noticing EON deploying in both Alpha and Bravo only. So I would say you're almost certain to see a heavy push up towards that I9 side, as I said. From RJF, they spread across all three. So they might send a mech over from Alpha over to Gamma. They may instead just pull everyone down towards that ridge and use it as almost a head fake to make EON look to see whether they are taking Gamma or not.
Gives them an option, doesn't it? Albeit they're not going to have much of a chance to see what the opposition's doing before they have to commit one way or the other, you'd say. So, curious to see what they'll do.
Alright, so we're just waiting on dropships to come in.
Yep, and we'll see the three on the side there, where they're bringing up the three different drop zones, and the two on the other side. Here we go.
So from RJF, we've got dual Hunchback 2Cs, Summoner, Shadowcat, Arctic Cheetah, and Arctic Wolf, and a Hellbringer along with a Wolfhound.
Interesting. Okay, looks like we have got, and having changed what we said in the pre-stream there, looks like we have got both of those mechs, Helmashek in a Shadowcat and Slave Labor in a Wolfhound, both making a push towards Gamma. Interestingly, it looks like they're actually going to run into opposition, because I'm seeing EON moving, what, 4 mechs towards Gamma. Something unusual going on here. Or do you reckon that's just, is that a covering strategy before they double back around that I9 point?
No, they'll be aiming to take Gamma and also take Kappa and then establish control over the other points and just bleed the Op4 dry. But as long as they can get 2 points, while while RJF get 2 or 3 points, they can just bleed them out.
Yep, the red there already taking some large laser fire. He's not in a good place to trade
as
there.
I said, O'Neill, Daruwind, Lizzie, all moving up there. They're going to be able to put fire on the guys firing at Dared, or also putting fire onto the guys capping Fader.
Right, so we're looking for these guys here to push forwards fairly aggressively now, you'd say, to make this work.
It's all about setting up crossfire. So if you look at where Daruwind is positioned,
yep, yeah, we're following him now.
As well as where Funky Cat's going, the aim is to put fire down from multiple angles. Igor taking some hits early on in that Shadowcat. He'll be withdrawing at 74%. So he's managed to establish where most of the enemy team are.
Yeah, Dared is now getting in on Gamma. Dared making that play for that second point, but looking to me like we've already got 2 points locked in for RJF, and they have just taken the third. So, are they in the driving seat now? I mean, they have to be, right?
Yes, they're in the driving seat, but a free cap isn't insurmountable. It's not the be-all and end-all. You can sacrifice the free cap early in order to achieve superior firing positions and bleed out your enemy. And if you look at where the health is at now, Pelmashek's down to 84%, Lefer's down to 75%. But Hellbringer is great at long-range trading, but it's also not best at spreading damage.
Right. On the other hand, Igor at 72% with yellow for the EON team, so a bit of damage on both sides, but yeah, RJF getting the worst of it damage-wise in exchange for their cap position. Just seeing some smoke there. Looks like somebody's having a punt at Slave, and no, that's a miss. So yeah, again, you're saying if he'd been caught by that would have been really painful, but it just not connecting. Who's this pushing forwards? Looks
so
like
Pelmashek's really being driven away, and that'll be Dared moving.
Dared, yeah, aggressively coming forwards. 2 RJF mechs nearby that could look to counter him. One of those, though, is Pelmashek, who has got a red light and is continuing to trade and trade against. So, are we going to see Dared clean him up here, I think?
Great, and Dared at that point will be able to start putting back shots. And the rest of EON positioning, they timed their push badly on week 1, and they know that. So they'll have drilled constantly during the week on timing their pushes better.
Yeah, and it looks like to me RJF not in a particularly good position here to counter a push onto Epsy. The Red can get in there. It looks like they're not going to put fire on him. They can't stop him taking that back. In the meantime, though, RJF picking up Kappa in exchange, so now we're a 4 cap temporarily on the RJF side, but still only 263 points on the board. So, exchange of fire continuing. Now entrenched up on that Hotel 8 point we were talking about before the match, we're seeing a good chunk of the EON force up there. Although now pushing forwards.
The important thing is because they've taken that hill, they don't have to put everyone up there. They can put a couple mechs up there and continue to rotate around and exert pressure around the rest of the side. Really, they've pinned 3 mechs around Vader. Slave Labor's on the left there and is pulling out.
Yeah, so we're seeing Igo and Lizzie doing just that.
Slowly squeeze them.
Yeah, Igo and Lizzie acting as those 2 fire support mechs you're discussing. We're seeing Colonel O'Neill, Cugebut, and Daru all pushing forwards here together. Supported on their left side there by Funky Cat. Looks like Lise Wyvern going to be taking a lot of damage very shortly.
Oh, and even Slave Labor.
Yeah, and Den coming forwards to try to help here, but looks like RGF could have a bit of a difficulty now.
And that's 2 mechs down for RJF.
Yep.
With a third down to 40%.
Yep. Third down, well, 2. I mean, Den there and Slave down to 29-27. Slave is out. Den there getting bounced now by Nick. That's not going to last very long. No, apologies. That's Den on the no, sorry, Nick is.
Look at that strike. Took him 40 down to 30%.
Yeah, that hurt. That strike might swing it.
And like I said, they're putting the squeeze.
Yeah, all the
they control that map exceptionally well.
Yeah, all the EON mechs still up at this time. Daru on 48-47 as I say it, but 4 mechs already lost for RGF. And RGF here not looking like they're going to be able to pick up those bonus points, crucially.
Correct. So they've gotten 1 kill.
Yeah, Daru there, and Igor 49% possibly to follow, but you know.
I think Nick will be next to go down 38%.
And one of the RGF mechs, of course, all the way across the map there. Not sure who that is. Should be able to figure it out now. We're running out. Trying to see where the sole survivor is in the battle. Shaman is the sole survivor over here. Just going down now.
And Shaman goes down.
Very so basically, MK4 they're probably going to try to save the mech, right? There's no point in him coming forwards at this point.
With 8 minutes on the board, he'll be capped out. So it's not a tenable situation to win. And
I mean, he looks like he is going to try for Epsy. Looks like he's going to try to take back Epsy, but I can't see he's going to do anything other than concede those extra points.
And yeah, EON have got fire. Darren's got shots going down on him now. The Panther, interesting choice because we don't really see the Panther used a whole lot of upper tier play.
No, so should we have a quick look at that while we can? Let's see what's he actually running on that. I mean, it's going to be lasers.
Oh, there's no sense about it. I mean, the main problem with running that mech is the fact that because all its weapons are in the arm, if you lose the arm, like the dragon, you're dead.
Yeah, you're out. That's it. Stick. So 3 ER large lasers though on a Panther. I mean, yeah, unusual. What's the advantage to that chassis over something else that can carry that loadout? I mean, you do get jump jets, and you get a fair bit of armor on some of the Panthers. Actually, now I think about it, I know the.
Not just that, for maneuverability, it twists, jumps really well. It has good acceleration, deceleration, and if you're aiming to get initial control by jumping up from that cap position up onto a mountain ridge, you need to get up there fast.
Right. So just the 1 kill then for RJF, losing all 8 in exchange. EON take again. That's
so looking at those damage numbers, like O'Neill 438, Lizzie 458, Cubit 350. You know, Darred only did 249, but I don't think you can underestimate its importance there. Like just as far as that strategy goes. Igor 345 damage. Yes, he took a lot of damage early on, but he provided exact intel on where they were.
Right. And then on the other side, we're seeing 2 of the pilots, Pelmashek and MK4, just not breaking 100 there. In fact, barely breaking 50.
I think Pelmashek got caught out unexpectedly early and really because he was isolated from the rest of the team, just had no choice but to try and put some scratches down to force them to abandon their pursuit, and it just didn't work. There was never going to be enough volume of fire put down to dissuade them.
Right, so yeah, just an abortive strategy, as it were. So you want to look at the map strat there and just recap that for the guys, or should we push forward to the drop 3? What's your feel?
It's probably worthwhile talking about it. So, as we said, RJF, EON stacking 4 mechs in Alpha, and while one mech, being Dalred, made that play for Gamma, pulling back when he had shots being put on.
Yeah, he had a bit of a hold.
Really...
He had a bit of a hold at the Hotel 11 point when he got engaged, but he did push forwards again later.
The rest of the team really moved up to control that I9. From Bravo, you had the Shadowcat move up to around Fader to put eyes on, while the rest of the team moved up to around that Juliet 7 mark. And from there, really the whole team just continued to rotate, putting the squeeze on and just forcing RJF to move increasingly into smaller, more isolated pockets where they could just be cut down one by one.
Yeah, so basically EON playing their half of the map, really, but just then dictating the pace. I mean, later we saw them, I think we saw some action around that Hotel 6 point, didn't we? We did see some finishing moves over there, but literally that, I think by then EON had it in the bag, really, didn't they, positioning-wise?
It was just a simple matter of map control, really. And it's, these teams are good enough that they make it look simple.
Yeah, it's just 8 mechs shooting at 8 other mechs, right?
But the end result of that strategy comes from hours of preparation, drilling, and everyone dropping together so much they know they're on the same page. You don't even need targets called out when you're at that level, because people know what they should be focusing on.
Right. Yeah, whereas in the lower divisions, I mean, certainly my own team, target focus is key and continues to be enforced over the comm, but you're saying it becomes organic, it becomes something that people do without needing.
Well, the big thing you'll see at the lower levels especially is that the initial target goes down fast, but then there's always a moment of confusion and fire gets split.
Lag.
When a second or third mech, because of what the lead mech is calling as the target, isn't necessarily what the other guys are able to see. And that only gets more protracted the longer a match goes on.
Makes sense. Getting a little glitch on the interface here. We're supposed to be seeing pre-drop 3, but that's just that's not loading up for us. Not sure why. Should be seeing some stuff for Frozen City.
Yep. So I'm just going to set the map straight while we do that.
Yeah, I think we'll have to click over to that because apparently we're not going to get it from the interface here. I have loaded drop 3 and it's all populated, but nope, we're no, it's not going to join us. So let's go and look at the map strat screen, people. Let's go back there.
Okay, so Frozen City is really a tale of two halves. So the team one side, we saw JGX lose from the team one position on Friday night, mostly due to the fact that while they were set up for trading, Phoenix Legion were very much set up to brawl, and they pushed straight from those Bravo Charlie spawns, hooked wide into Epsilon and then hooked through, while some of their mechs went through the lower city ground into them, and just pushed through relentlessly.
Yeah.
Combination of linebackers, Arctic Wolves, Assassins, Dire Wolves, which I don't think was the strongest point. And you can't really talk about drop 3 without talking about the VIP. Will teams take the King Crab? Will they take the Dire Wolf? Will they take the Atlas? I don't think you'll see the Dire Wolf or the Atlas taken from either team, really, unless their plan is to receive a push. And that's simply from the point of view that the Dire Wolf moves so slow that it's primarily there to hold pushes. The Atlas, its top speed is only ever going to be about 55 Ks. The King Crab, you have that option of putting in a slightly larger engine, running MRMs and the like, running UACs if you really want to.
Yeah, you've got some options. I mean, I didn't rate the King Crab the other night, but I have to admit I was behind myself. I wasn't aware that it had been buffed up as heavily from as it had been. I still thought the Atlas had the edge on it there, and I think the Atlas still does just, but it's not enough to make the Atlas more viable than the King Crab, as you say. So that line.
The important thing to know with the Atlas is the fact that when you fire at their head, you're hitting CT.
Yeah.
Regardless, like even if you're not hitting the eye, you're still hitting the center torso on it, and it twists quite slowly, really.
It's not a quick mech to torso twist in.
But yes, for King Crab, when you hit those missile pods in particular, it's very easy to strip off the side torso, but the CT still has 152 armor on average. The Direwolf, it's much more lightly armored. Yes, it puts down a lot more pain with those UACs, but the most dangerous build, the Ultraviolet one, requires hero omnipods that you can't run.
That you can't run in this format, yeah. So what do you think we'll see from the RJF side? Obviously 2 down now. So what are we going to see from them on this map, would you say?
I don't think they're going to hold around the city. They might try and force the fight to happen around the city. So you may well see an initial movement straight away by a light to try and cap Fader immediately. Well, sorry, not a light, a medium. Like a fast-moving medium like an Ice Ferret or an Arctic Wolf. While the rest of the team has another fast-moving medium go for the Gamma and then Epsilon. While the rest of the team sets up to trade from around that Echo 6, Echo 7 position, being able to control Fader and also put shots down the opposing side. EON, fair point of view, realistically from the Team 2 position, you have 2 choices. You can either set up around the dropship in Fox 5 and control Fader yourself while having Sigma and Kappa capped, or you can push across and try and fight in amongst the city. That can be costly because the opposing team can set up quickly enough if they can just put significant fire down on you. And I don't think that's really EON style, to be honest. I think they'd rather dictate the terms of the engagement and rely on the fact that they're superior traders against most of their opposition.
Okay, so if we're seeing like fast heavies and stuff, you might see them do that city push, but if we see slower mechs, you'd expect that dropship hold from EON. Yeah. So
if you're seeing summoners, you'll see trading. If you're seeing linebackers,
it's a rush. Yeah. And again, even though it was Div D, the dropship hold will be familiar to those who watched my stream the other day, where we saw one of the teams hold on the dropship, and then the opposition actually pushing through the Theta Valley and onto that position, and it ended very badly for them ultimately. So, dropship hold is strong, basically, is what we're saying.
And the thing is, like one of the things that Queenblade's just pointed out in the Twitch chat, EON gave up 4 cap at the start in exchange for superior positioning. They don't mind if the enemy outcaps them to start with, so long as at the end of the match they're the ones who have control.
Yeah,
it really goes back to what we said at the start about EON will allow the enemy team to dictate what they're doing, and then they will just counter and dominate it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, something, again, lower division myself, and relatively experienced at competitive play, but even in pug play, I've shouted at teams, who've started being scared by the fact that we're caps down when we're in a very good position to effectively wipe the opposition off the map. And again, bearing in mind that's 12v12, where you've got more ages to go out and cap. These guys have only got 8. The fact that they're confident to let them go 4 up and then just recap it, a good degree of confidence there, I think. So what are we seeing?
Oh yeah,
mostly locked in.
Both teams to drop.
Yeah, in fact we're seeing 8 greens. Not actually seeing a declaration there from RJF yet, but they are showing green.
Okay, we're ready, so we're going to launch.
Okay. So this one essentially for the marbles at this point.
Also, look at the tonnage differential. So EON have bought 510 tons to RJF's 495.
I haven't got that screen yet, so I'll take your word on it. So what, 15 tons in it?
So I would say that RJF have bought a fast-moving deck, while EON have bought more of a trading style deck.
Okay, so again, EON for the dropship hold, and RJF potentially something a bit quicker, doing, as you say, trying to get in maybe for Theta early and then pull it back. Right, here we go. Okay, my camera spawned over near the EON side, but both teams interestingly dropping all 3 dropships, so some mechs for each point on both sides here. So I think it was EON just with the 1 on the northernmost point they have available to them.
Yeah, so that'll just be aiming to cap Cameron and Epsilon quickly.
Yeah, it's just an early snatch. Makes sense. So what team are you more interested to follow here? Do you want to see the Eon do what we expect, probably go on the dropship, or should we go and have a look at the RJF guys and see if they make good on something a bit different?
Well, I think if you look at RJF, they've got a Roughneck 3A, which is something they've probably taken from their scrims against Phoenix Legion, who have put that mech to very good use for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, and King Crab there. Direwolf, though, you said would not be seen. However, I'm seeing Eon with that Direwolf. Again, you said perhaps if you're trying to hold, so that would confirm Eon likely to take that position and hold it, you'd say. Although now, as I say it, Eon are clearly moving the other way. They're clearly moving to the city.
So foregoing control of Fader in exchange for taking Sigma, and then just moving into a city where they can just pummel them.
Yeah, they've got the Overwatch position here if I take the camera down, so yeah, they're going to have a very good arc of fire across the map if they get up on that point. RGF looking like they could take Kappa there, but being a bit hesitant to actually move in and do so. What's going on there, would you say? Just trying to get over there and have a look.
I would honestly say they're waiting for the word. Like, they're moving over towards it. Don't forget that ridge, unless they're going straight up from the left-hand side of that major building, is actually quite a slow walk.
It is, but I mean, if Eon push now, this is done, isn't it? I mean, RGF now looking almost like they're falling back away from the Eon line. Seeing some trading.
Well, they really have no alternative but to fall back. If they sit there, they're just going to get pushed on, isolated and destroyed.
Yeah, so at this point they'll be screaming on the comm to get those mechs at Kappa back to the fight. Seeing only sliver caps on any of these points here. Kappa actually did pick up for what, a third of the bar there, but
oh, they only need to partial cap it. It's so far away that any mech that goes over this point is irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean that's almost too much, being my point though. The fact that they put more than a millimeter on it was wasted time. RGF now almost forced into this low ground over here. I mean, this isn't a fighting position I've ever adopted myself, but they're there by circumstance, really, aren't they?
Well, this is the position where JGX were forced back into the other night against PHL, and it's not sustainable long term because while it will shield you initially from fire, you're penned up in a small position where you will just get pummeled eventually.
Yeah. You're optimal. You're going to get pincered from one side.
But Cuba down to 60% in the Hunter 2C for Eon.
Yeah, we'll see. Is he on that leading edge? Is that Cuba we're seeing at the front? No, that's the red goes faster, coming forwards again in, as you said, a Dragon, the 5N. Presumably that will be the UAC build, and indeed, of course, it is. Wouldn't expect anything else on that chassis. Looking for Cuba, not seeing him. Did he just? No, he's in the main body. He just must have caught a bad trade, I guess. Or maybe a strike. Didn't see one, but that isn't to say there wasn't one.
Yeah, the health percentage is pretty even right now. Terminator's not significantly hurt, 67%, but that Roughneck takes a major pounding.
Yeah, what's Igor doing forwards
Nick
here?
at 70%.
What's Igor doing that far forwards? I mean, are we going to see him start a UAV? Is he looking for them? He's backpedaling now. He's realised that's not somewhere he wants to be.
And now Terminator down to 60%. Shaman, Pelmashek down to 52%. Nick down to 60%.
Yep. Eon looking to push into that.
So Pelmashek, that's the VIP down.
Yep.
And now Eon will move to just dominate.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see an RJF out card here. This is they're outpositioned. I mean, yeah.
Very quick, very early conclusion to a match.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, Eon not going for the dropship, making that city push, making it work. RJF having detached two mechs, undergunned in that locale, falling back, as you say, to that unsustainable position, and well, they didn't die in that position. They've rotated out, but Eon actually now on the position.
But look at how Eon have spread their damage. Cuba down to 33%, still functioning.
Yeah.
O'Neill 38%. Igor 44%, but they still haven't lost any mechs at all. Like their ability to rotate armor, really shining.
Yeah, Lizzie making a kill there. So again, crucially as well, that means their VIP still very much in it. That Direwolf on 43%, so fair play to RGF. They made a play for it, but Lizzie's still up there in the Direwolf. Yep. And
Daniel Walker, the only one remaining.
Again,
he'll likely be trying to shoot Lizzie, but the rest of Eon are pushing forward, forcing him to pay attention to them rather than the VIP.
Yeah, Den there with 2 ERPPCs, and looks like Igor there interdicting him in that effort to get to Lizzie. Lizzie, actually, I'm quite surprised that far forwards. I mean, I'd almost have expected her to hold back off the engagement there. She didn't need to push forwards and risk that, did she?
Lizzie's a he.
Lizzie's a he. Okay, right. I'm just going for the name there. That's yeah, my bad. I'm just gonna start using they as of now. They is now how we're doing this.
That works. But I mean, look at that. Lizzie, 630 damage, 2 kills, 6 assists. Like, just destroying things in that direwolf. Igor, 402 damage in the Shadow Cat. Funky Cat, 422, 1 kill, 7 assists. Very good spread of damage across the whole EON team. For the RJF side, like that Roughneck, 416 damage.
Yeah.
Shaman, 450, Den, 446. Really having that linebacker and that assassin away from the fight for so long will really hurt.
Yeah, and showing up there. I mean, Lizzie doing 630 in the VIP mech. I mean, obviously it's the one assault they've got, but that's not being shy to engage there. Not being shy to bring the VIP
Lizzie
forwards.
has never been shy to engage. If you ever get a chance, look at the stats for him in Worlds. He, in all the semi-finals, he's developed into one of the top pilots in Europe.
Right.
I think his loss to EON when he moved there from RJF up to 2016 Worlds was very keenly felt at the time.
Okay, well, it looks like the scoreboard has decided it's taking a permanent holiday. I was hoping when we refreshed after match 3 there, it might decide to come back to us, but no. So sorry, folks, we can't show you the scores at the moment here, unless I can get them up on another overlay.
Steve Yeller and King Crab, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I don't think it is. Shall we move on to the giveaway portion?
Yeah, let's do another giveaway. Let's do that instead, because that's not going to help me at the moment. Do you want to get the map strat up there for the next one as well? I mean, again, I think that story told itself really. So do you want to look at 4 and see what's going to happen in that one?
Look, we might as well just very quickly gloss over it. So I'll get the map strat up for Frozen. We'll very quickly go over that, and then we'll switch over to Crimson.
Okay, I'll get this giveaway going in the background then. Just make sure that's ready to go. Okay, so map strat there.
So very quickly, we had one mech from EON moved to take Sigma. The rest of the force moved straight up into the city, didn't stuff around, but just pushed through. They didn't even worry about Epsilon initially. They just pushed through and aimed to dominate that whole area and forced RJF to move back into that Delta 5 position and hold there.
And the mistake in the meantime being RJF had gone all the way over to Kappa, hadn't they, via here, and then we saw their mechs having to effectively double back to that suboptimal position.
Right, a quick, early, and decisive engagement.
Yeah, not much else to add there, really, is there? It all went the way EON wanted it to. The only surprise there being the direwolf used to make that push. As you say, it's not the quickest, but they had their faster mechs get there and cover the ground, I guess.
I think the thing you'll see there is that occasionally you see people make the mistake of using the VIP to lead the push instead of measuring the push at the same pace as for VIP. So you've just got a wall of fire, and yes, people might be aiming to put some shots down on the VIP, but in the meantime they're taking so much fire from everywhere else that they're just completely overwhelmed. Yeah,
so it's just non-viable to sustain that engagement. Okay then, so let's have the giveaway. This one being for a mech bay, I think I'm right in saying, Di?
That is correct.
That's correct, let's have a mech bay. And, yep, pay attention to chat, people. Did we, oh no, Funky Cat we can tell afterwards got his 24-hour code there. I suspect Funky Cat is well supplied with premium time. It's gonna try drawing him again. It's no. Lefty Frizz, a Lefty Frizz. You have won a mech bay. So if you want to hit die up on Twitch chat, there we'll get you a code. And while that's happening, let's. You got something there,
Just PM I was just gonna say, just like I said, PM me on Twitch. I'll send you the code. I've got them all here ready to go.
Okay, so round 4, Crimson Straight. Scoreboard, at least on this page, is working. There you go, 3-0 to EON at this point. So RJF just continuing the fight for the rep points, really. They can't win the match now, but we all know how important the rep is. So what are we going to see here?
And that's the thing, but the results at the end of the season are decided by who has the most reputation points, not necessarily who's won the most drops. But who's won the most drops goes to the first tiebreaker result if two teams are tied on reputation.
So decisive wins in an individual drop is actually the priority over
scraping out a victory.
Yeah.
So from the team one side, they have the easier time of it in some regards because they can literally have a light mech instant cap gamma while another mech moves over to grab Epsilon. The mistake teams make at this level, or at lower levels though, is not moving for Theta straight away. Really, if you can take Theta early, you force the other team to have to expend time and resources on capping it while you're putting fire down on them. You can always take Theta early and then get the hell out of there and double back over to Epsilon.
Yeah, and I think probably even people playing quick play at plug mode, that tends to happen. Theta isn't something that the team at the bottom of the bay have a realistic chance of getting to if the other team wants to take it first.
Okay, so RJF locked, Bravo Charlie. No real surprises there. Alpha is basically a deadweight spawn.
Yeah, it gives you a tactical option, but a very strange one. So.
Well, the only time you'll ever see that is if a team tries a saddle push, which is so transparent that you're doing that the enemy team can easily counter it.
Yeah, so very little purpose. And again, I mean, normally I don't see a whole lot of utility to see on the Team 2 side. I mean, is it a slightly quicker run to Sigma just because of the structures between you?
Yes, it's actually not only a faster run to Sigma, but if you're moving up to Fox 5 to make a move up to the Kappa platform, it's better.
Right. Just from that graphic, you wouldn't pick it up.
The main time that Bravo gets used from the Team 2 side is if you're making a play to take control of the island.
Yeah.
Which you have to have your top traders on the island because they can get overwhelmed with someone setting up over on the mountain over here and putting fire down. Oh, actually, sorry, rather than that island, they'd usually set themselves up around the lower city and just be using the buildings around here for cover.
Yeah, and that's exactly the play we saw in the Div D match earlier this week, was a trade, extended trade between Echo 3 and Delta 4, and that went on for quite some time actually. Even for a Div D match, it was prolonged.
Oh, and we saw Phoenix Legion try to play the control game over the cap points early and just control Theta as well as Epsilon. Couldn't get control of Epsilon for long enough initially. Had control of Gamma, but JGX sent their lights round the back of Delta 7 to take control of Gamma, and we saw a light fight happen, which proved very decisive in the favour of JGX.
Right, so again, the lights effectively operating against each other in that role, and essentially trying to sort out that cap point. Just seeing.
So the interesting mech that was used by JGX in that role the other night was actually a 12 small pulse laser Stormcrow supporting the Alliance. So it just couldn't be ignored, and even though it went down comparatively early, it still pumped out enough damage that it completely crippled the opposing lights.
Yeah, I mean, once you see that, you're gonna prioritize getting rid of it, aren't you? But equally, you're probably not gonna really pick up on it till it starts firing at you, unless you've got really good intel looking across all the enemy chassis. Again, it's a surprise package, so you're not going to be expecting it. Still showing RJF locked here, but just waiting on the other guys. EON just
waiting on EON. Honestly, if they go Alpha Bravo, then that'll be an island control strat.
And I mean, I think we'd probably expect to see that, as you say, they play some very strong positional play, and that seems to have been what they've been favouring this evening. It's put them 3-0 up, so don't broke. It ain't broke. Don't fix it from EON, I would say, likely.
I'm loving the fact that Twitch chat right now is also pointing out that Lizzie is a male.
Yep, yeah, 5 minutes ago I learnt that, so, yeah, my bad, people, my bad.
So, roll-off's just happening now, so we'll see whether Lefty actually messages me. Okay, EON have confirmed their locks, so launching.
Excellent. Yeah, always entertaining having this 5-minute delay, but obviously essential for the teams that we do.
Oh, Lefty Fritz has spoken up.
Hey, well done, Lefty Fritz. It is nice when we give away stuff and people actually claim it. I mean, that is the optimum way of doing this. So just to remind everybody, we're going to give away an actual mech. Well, I mean, it's an urban mech. Can I call that an actual mech? Is that pushing my luck?
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay, we're giving away an actual mech after drop 4, the missile Irby, and that does come with a mech bay. It's a small thank you from me for you guys coming out and seeing my, well, what is now my second stream, cast, stream.
Dropships coming in.
Dropships coming in.
Or RJF?
I'm having a look at the RJF side here. Just, I'm just curious to see what they're going to have brought, to see if they can overturn this this 3-0 that we're seeing.
Dakar Madcat Mark II's duplicated. Panther.
I've got duplicate hunchbacks on my side.
Huntsman A, Wolfhound, Hunchback 2C, Summoner, and a Dragon.
So Summoner. So again, control the island, right? That Panther we've already seen once tonight already. So I think we know what's going on there with
the amount of firepower those Madcat Mark IIBs can put down when they put them onto it is obscene. Dual UAC 5, dual UAC 10s. Yes, they are a bit of a paper tiger, but if you're putting out enough damage.
What did we say earlier about saddle pushes? Because looks suspiciously to me like RJF are actually sending 3 mechs to the saddle.
They'll be putting eyes out to see whether EON take Kappa or not.
Yeah, with 3 mechs though? I mean, seriously, there's
being
2
able
mechs
to
back
counter
here.
2 of them.
Yeah, seeing one of those, the RJF Madcat 2 and an Annihilator, so they're assaults in fact. The assaults are going to make a saddle push for RJF by the look of it. I mean, they can't go back now, it'll take them too long.
No, they won't be pushing, they'll be looking to control that. The way you run into issues is putting fire out into the island and being able to be shot at from the island. Yes, there's a lot of long distance involved, but they can still take enough scratch damage that it can put them off.
Okay, so what do you think Funky Cat and Daru are going to do when they realise these assaults are coming? Are they just going to drop down and bug out? I mean, where can they go from this position?
Well, Funky Cat's already able to just run straight down the ramp. Darrowwind on that Summoner will get the hell out of dodge, as he's doing right now.
Yeah, there he goes downstairs. Sweep in and have a look at what he's up to. Looks like he's going to back it up. Not sure where we're going to see him go. Meanwhile, EON, obviously, island control, albeit I see Beria now breaking off from that. Is he going to go and try and pick up a... What is Beria
So, see what I mean about the glass cannon? Xkiko's already down to 69%. Once you lose the arms in that mech,
yeah, it relies on them. Beria throwing up a UAV there. That UAV's still up, actually. Not yet being shot down by RJF. So Beria just trying to find out where the RJF guys are at.
Well, I think it's, you look at Terminator 20 and Pelma Shake, they're already down at 60%,
I was about to say,
65% respectively.
Leith and Den not looking a lot better in the 70s there. Darrowwind...
Terminator 20 down to 50.
Darrowwind trying to get out of that central position there. So okay, so yeah, I was right to call it that they were going to have a problem with at least one of those mechs. Darrowwind getting picked off, but there's enough accumulated damage.
Darrowwind takes down Terminator. Yeah. Down to 38%.
And again, reminder, folks, we're looking for all the heavies and the assaults to be cleaned up for any team wanting its bonus points in this drop. 2 of each, 2 of all weight classes.
And the lights, Left and MK4 are now in the backfield.
Yep, coming around that flank. Lots of MG
and
fire.
I think Funky Cat's about to go down.
Could be, although they seem to be switching to Igor. Did he have an option on the backplate there? No, Igor's turned into him. Funky rotating around and keeping out the way, actually. Lizzie gets Leaf.
Yeah, and they hesitated too long on that push. MK4 is still relatively healthy, but Slave Labor down to 45%. And he's got 4 mechs firing on him now.
Yeah, MK now, yeah, gonna have... Yeah, that Mad Cat... You can't stand in front of that Mad Cat, that's gonna go badly for you. Although, again, the Mad Cat losing the arms, as you say, Lizzie there, looking like a severe shortage of firepower now in effect.
And Shaman's down to one side with 4 mechs putting fire on him.
Yeah, Lizzie's out of it. Lizzie has no weaponry, but the mech is still up, denying a kill and the associated rep points. I mean, RJF, I'm looking for chassis now. I mean, there's 2 of them left. Shaman in what presumably is a disarmed Mad Cat, and Den. Where's Den? Den has disappeared off to Theta to try to play a cap game with Dared and Igor. That's going to end badly for him, you'd say. He's throwing down some strikes though. Igor catching a lot of damage there. Yeah, catching a lot of damage there. Den nearly cleaned him up there, but can he get that Panther? Can he get Dared in the Panther? No. Well, that's 32 kills for EON tonight. RJF just not seeming to be able to reply. Do we have a feel on that? It is just the control, isn't it? EON have that map control. That's what we're seeing.
Well, that's really the thing you see when you see the top teams play out. It's always a matter of a team establishing that control and then applying the kills, rather than, okay, let's all push straight away and hope that we can catch the opponent off guard. Looking at the damages, Den Airwalker, 746 damage.
Yeah, he needs a backpack.
MK4 and Arctic Cheetah, 499. But looking on the EON side, no one under 135 damage, and that was Derwind, who really got caught out fairly early.
Yeah, if we scored through him as an unfortunate catch from the Annihilator, and the Mad Cat, is 239 for Funky is the next up, and again Funky was the other half of that element that got caught out of position. So the guys on the island were 380 and up. Yeah, again.
And a lot of people bring Annihilators, but when you're playing a mobile game like that, you have to go for speed, and the Mark II has the ability to go at least 60 km per hour while still putting down significant volumes of fire.
Right. Okay, so I think before we have a quick look at the map strat there, I'm gonna get this urban mech given away. So.
No worries, I'll populate the map strat while we're doing that.
Yeah, get the map strat up, and just gonna refresh the chat list here, see if we can make sure we get some people in. Congrats again to those who've already won tonight, giving away a 24-hour premium code and a mech bay. This for an urban mech, and I should know the letter number, but I've forgotten. It's the urban mech with the 2 missile hardpoints. It was the loyalty mech last year. This one isn't the loyalty variant, unfortunately it's the reinforcement variant, but still an interesting variant on that chassis. So here we go. Super awesome giveaway time.
Free stuff for free.
Free stuff for free. He said it. And if you really don't like trash cans, then if you remove the trash can, you'll find there's a mech bay hidden behind it. So looks like Denwalker gets a prize there for his top damage in that last match, Die.
Oh, Den won't turn it down.
Den won't turn it down. Okay, well there you go. RJF Den Airwalker there, picking up a free urban mech, courtesy of myself. I say the prize for top damage in the last match, perhaps. Right, so map strat. Let's get some map strat going. Oh, we've already got some nice lines there, Die. Lots of things going on.
Yep. So initially you saw Dared in that Panther moving up to grab Epsilon and then be able to move from there to put fire down on the mechs around the Theta position. While he was doing that, Darwin moved up to Echo 5 along with one of the other lights.
That was Funky. Funky Cat was the other one. He was in a Huntsman actually, I think, Funky. Yeah, medium.
Yes. So Funky managed to get out of there quickly. Darwin had to drop down, and because the Summoner no longer has the speed tweaks that it used to have, it just wasn't fast enough to get away from the entire enemy team.
Yeah,
So
he
went
tried
down.
the straight line across, but it wasn't going to work for him.
Oh, by the same token, that was almost a tactical sacrifice that the enemy had to focus on, but in the process left themselves completely exposed to fire from that whole island side.
Right.
And once dominance had been asserted around Delta 4, they could really just get in the crossfire from mechs from multiple positions.
I mean, we saw...
You look at where they were at the end. RJF had a Mark 2B that was sitting around Fox 4.
I was about to say, we saw a delayed RJF push through the Fox 4 and onto the island. We watched that on the commentary. That was their one sort of key attempt at getting them off the island. Didn't work out. So, in summary, die 4-0, 32 kills for EON. So RGF with well, pride and rep to play for here. Can't see it being other than a 5-0 myself, unfortunately. I mean, what can RGF pull one back, or would you say that this is just EON have this one tonight? Is it just not RGF's day?
There is always a possibility for teams to pull one back, but I think after last week's result, EON will be, quite sore after it and wanting to prove a point to everyone else that they are still the premier team in EU.
Okay, so don't poke EON with a stick because they'll poke back a lot harder. That's what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can't get you, they'll get the next guys.
It's like that old adage about poking a bear. Except in this case, the bear is 100 tons and will crush your house and your family's house, and then maybe kill your cousin for good measure.
Well, yeah, but I haven't seen many Kodiaks in competitive play, so perhaps we're stretching that analogy. 100-ton crab? Now that's scary. So just seeing everyone shuffle around here. Yep, seeing some pretty brisk shuffling there. I think somebody just called that one. I'm gonna see if we can get the scoreboard to come up, Di. No, yeah, okay, let's have a look at the next map. Let's do that instead. Rubelite Oasis.
So the lance spawns aren't too meaningful. This is still a fairly small map, but if a team is very dedicated to a cap strat, it can play well so long as they get rid of the enemy lights. Like, remember, we've only got 2 lights and 2 heavies, and the rest
no
are
mediums.
assaults.
Yeah. So, and the assaults being the target of the bonus objective.
So really, who wins the light fight, or who has lights left at the end, can play a very important role in who wins. Like, that fader position is so isolated, like so easily shot at from every single angle, that if you don't take it straight away, you aren't going to take it because you're just going to set yourself up in a kill box.
I'd say it's the least favourable fader on any of the maps to my eye. Well, not even my eye, my experience, albeit again not the comp level for the most part. It's the only map where somebody doesn't rush Theta and get away with it. Perhaps Canyon being the other one that stands out as being relatively hard to lock down that Theta point.
Yep, agree.
So
what you will see instead is a bit warmer, but that temperature has been adjusted.
Yeah, 59 degrees now. It's not what it was. So you reckon push along the northern line there to Kappa?
Well, I think you might see one light go there, the other light go over to Epsilon. Unlikely, because if you go over to Epsilon, you're leaving yourself very exposed.
Okay, so you have to be ready to bug that out. It's something you roll the dice. If it doesn't work, you get the hell out of Dodge and get back to your team. Preserve the light.
Well, whereas in previous seasons, you might have seen someone go, look, I think we can take that by using a Locust. We're not going to anymore because, well, the Locust is dead as far as comp goes. Yeah. It's too fragile. It doesn't have the... Yes, it's still got the same top speed, but it doesn't have the acceleration decel anymore. And with small pulse lasers being a DI weapon, as far as comp is concerned, the damage definitely needed adjustment. 6 damage was too much, but 4 damage
4 is not enough. Yeah, it needs that 4.5 maybe to make it a thing. Again,
I would actually say 5. 5 damage would be fine.
Yeah.
It would still mean that other weapons have their place.
Would you bring the small laser up behind it? I mean, again, not for comp, but just general balance. If they were to push pulses up, would you expect general smalls to drift behind them?
I would say this. the general small laser, like the IS small laser, definitely needs to be adjusted. Okay,
Right.
both teams are locked, so we're ready to go.
Yep.
So RJF going with an Alpha Charlie spawn, and EON going with a Bravo Charlie spawn.
Yeah, so basically the furthest forwards points from both teams, so I guess no big surprise.
Exactly.
We'd love to tell you something interesting there, folks, about those spawn points, but really they're the closer ones to the enemy, so yeah, it turns out that's where you get points in this game. If nothing else, I'd love to see...
So don't forget, folks, after every end of a drop, we will be giving away 1,000 MC.
Oh yeah, we have some large amounts of MC to give away.
Okay, so looking at RJF, they've got a Kodiak, an Annihilator, Dragon, Mark 2B, a second Annihilator, Arctic Cheetah, Mislinks, and Linebacker.
Okay, I've got nothing on my camera because for some reason we spawned into a mech. I don't know why, and I now have some nice yellow soup. So apologies, folks.
Okay, so
I'm trying to fix that.
EON are bringing along 2 Annihilators, Mislinks, Warhawk, Wolfhound, Night Gear, Madcat Mark 2-1, and a Summoner.
Yeah.
So I would be expecting to see Gorse, maybe ER larges and ER mediums on that Mark 2.
We'll find out as soon as we can. Just trying to bring the camera back in. Looks like I can now actually see the map, so gonna try pulling in from the RJF side here. Looks like dies, so we'll come in over them. Yeah, don't know what happened with the camera there, but it glitched. It spawned outside. It spawned in a mech cockpit, and then when set back, was way off the map. So.
Okay, so EON are making a play for Photo, while Dalred makes a move for Kappa.
Yep, and we're now seeing, okay, so we've got a Kodiak 3 and Annihilator. In fact, we've got Kodiak 3 and 2 Annihilators here for RJF coming through the low ground. Den, Airwalker, and a Mad 2 just ahead of them. Pretty much one solid ball of assaults, I'm saying, from the RJF side, Die. Obviously, those Annihilators being the duplicate. Both 2 alphas.
Yeah, and for EON, they're all making a play up the 1 angle.
Yeah, in fact, we're seeing an abundance of Annihilators, aren't we? That's 4 Annihilator, 2 alphas. Again, anyone playing Solaris at the moment, Div 1 is Annihilator division. Annihilators see a lot of play. Ugly or not. Lot of fire going down across the top levels of this map here.
Darwin down to 86%, Dalred at 81% in the Wolfhound.
Huge book,
down to 88%.
Looks like Colonel O'Neill bailing off that top platform there as well. Daru looks like he's possibly considering dropping off as well. Seiko.
Seiko drops down.
Yeah, although he's coming in now to support the guys, it looks like. In a Warhawk? Warhawk, interesting. Wonder what he's running on that.
I think Kiko's dropping down because he's down 63%.
Yeah, I mean...
a set of 8 bonuses are what make the Warhawk as a chassis.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be doing that, and he's running the 4 ER PPCs, but Seiko, yeah, almost going into the fight and then pulling back out, taking a lot of damage in the process. Lizzie down at 45, 44 in that Annihilator, trading under the bridge there with, looks like, Nick and Den at the other end of that trade.
I think Lizzie down.
No, Lizzie, yep. Daru at the back there, in a similar position, really.
Terminator just pressing W and going, nope, you're mine.
Yeah. Do you reckon
But
RGF
really
might come back for that one? RGF looking like they might be a little angry.
I think Den will have put a fire up him and said, guys, what are you doing?
Yep, let's go and get some points.
Darwin down.
Darwin, that's 2 of the assaults. Funky's going, yep, that's going to be 3 of the assaults. So perhaps RGF targeting that bonus, would you say? Looks like maybe having a dedicated go.
About to hit. Darred, bailing, barrier in the middle of him.
Where is Seiko? Where is Seiko with that Warhawk? Because that could be important now. Because he's now the last EON assault. Slave labor there, getting shot in the back by Seiko. Has anyone got eyes on Seiko, or has he managed to get off the edge there?
Seiko's still around the pillar.
Yeah. Looks like he's now dueling Pelmshek. Yep. They now know where Seiko is, so they're gonna look to finish him up. But I mean, basically, we're seeing.
I think Den always knew where he was, but he was just trying to make sure he minimised the amount of fire he got. That being down to 62%.
Right, makes sense.
So Buria goes down.
Yeah, and it looks like the main fight now. I mean, Cubert managed to get back up there at some point. I missed where he went. But 5-3, a lot of damage on some of these RJF mechs. Slave labor at 25%. He's gonna be out of it in a minute. Den.
Yep, Kiko goes down.
It's not gonna be enough though, is it? The RJF
next.
are gonna be beaten up, but they're gonna pull this one back.
Yep.
Den takes Cubert. And that's it.
And it finishes 8-3.
Yeah, messy. A lot of damage on the RJF side, but fair play to them, and they take their bonus points. And they deny the bonus points to EON in the process.
Moving through that lower city part and minimising the amount of fire they took on the approach was key there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But look at that. Cody 8-3, 977 damage. Palmashek 832, Den 871. Definitely that Charlie Lance pulled out a significant amount of damage, especially after losing Lef in the linebacker and MK4 in the mislinks early.
Yeah, so that assault group we saw going down low and pushing through, just doing their job essentially, just putting out a massive amount of firepower. Interestingly, Alpha, they're left with almost slim pickings. Their damage numbers are lower as a result. Although, that being said, also taking the 3 casualties, which will doubtless have factored into it.
Alright, so I'm just waiting it to load now so we can ask if the team captains want to join us.
Yeah, see if we can get some chats with some people. Got that 1000 MC to give away as well. Sure chat will be keen to have 1000 MC. What's that? 3 mech bays if you want those, or some shiny new things for your Solaris mechs if you're of the Centurion persuasion, or 1 or 2 others.
Oh, also you could just wait until the next sale happens on mech bays and buy yourself multiples at 150 each.
Yeah, 6 of them, almost 7. To say the chat now, rip blast lol sandstorm. Yeah, just technical issues this week. Just the game and a couple of other things just doesn't seem to love us at the moment, do they? We need some tech love. All right, let's see what we can do here. Tell you what, let's go over the giveaway. I'm gonna. Or do you want to hold the giveaway till after the interview? What do you want to do, Di?
I'm not sure it looks like anyone really wants to do an interview because everyone's just dropping.
Right. EON having won it with the 4, and then having lost that last one, just both sides just perhaps a little bit sore at the end there, or just in a rush to get off with everything. I mean, I guess the Russian team, obviously, they're pretty late by now, aren't they, time zone wise?
Yeah. It is around like 1 o'clock in the morning, so. And a number of these guys are Russians, so.
Right, let's pull up the chat list then, and this time I'll remember to move myself just in case. Don't think it's gonna draw me, but then you never do you? You never do.
Just be on the safe side and remove yourself.
Yeah, and the move bot there. Right, okay, here we go. Super awesome giveaway time. 1000 MC. I'm gonna go with Karavi, as the way to pronounce that. Anyhow, you've won a 1000 MC. In fact, it's a 1 on the end, so Karav, maybe? 1000 MC. Give Di a nudge, and in 5 minutes you'll be able to claim that. So I guess, do you want to look at that map strat then, while we wait for the 5 minutes to catch us up there, Di? Or do you, want to shoot off? I know you've got to go and do some making money thing, haven't you?
I can quickly go over map strat and reply to the users just to give away the code, but then after that, I'll bail. So RJF made a very stereotypical ploy, which was just pushing up through the lower city, minimising their fire on approach and being able to exert pressure. EON, for their point of view, actually pushed up through the upper spire early on, being able to get up onto the upper city ground, and in turn couldn't put fire down because Yeah, what's also you on a lot of these assault mechs means that pitch means that they can't actually shoot downwards often enough. So mechs that could actually aim up really managed to put some hurt on those annihilators.
Yeah, and we saw a bit of indecision. Seiko, yeah, Kiko dropping off the back of that, didn't we, in the Warhawk, which we commented on at the time.
So, I think the other thing that was costly early on was the fact that the two lights for EON both pushed out wide to try and take the cap points, whereas for their point of view, RJF only sent one light and one heavy. And yes, that heavy wound up self-destructing, but he managed to do enough damage that it made some difference in the long term.
Yeah.
And they didn't lose any light. So even if they'd lost that assault engagement, they managed to inflict enough on EON that they could have controlled the caps end game.
Yeah, but I think fair to say RJF wanted some kills there, didn't they? They wanted to get in there and make good on some rep points and the bonus. And fair play to them for doing so. I mean, you know, it's nice to see. I always prefer to see a 3-2 or 4-1. It's just I don't know. It's the British bit in me, the underdog bonus. I don't know, but no, I always like to see teams coming back, and it does keep the league tighter as we come towards the end of the league. Obviously, that will make it more to play for in the final week, I guess.
I do actually have a PM from Den saying he's ready for an interview. So
okay, where is he at? Is he ever on Discord?
Yeah, so I'll just PM him with TeamSpeak details, and you'll need to drag him in.
Yeah, no problems. I'll open up this room to take another.
Channel edited.
Again, thanks to for those on the stream. Thanks to Di earlier tonight for putting up with my tech issues. As I say, just Windows 10 deciding to kick all my mics out an hour before. So yep, Di, very good to come over to the TS here and just make me able to get this to work for you guys tonight. So and again, some horrible late night there for you, Di. So
and
we'll
Den's up in the lobby.
He's up in the lobby. Let's get him in here.
User was moved to your channel.
And hello, Den.
Hello.
So yeah, drop 5 went pretty well for you guys. Obviously, a bit disappointed in the results for the rest of the drops.
Well, to be fair, I'm more or less happy because unfortunately we weren't able to finish off a lot of mechs during those drops, so that might be a big issue, to be honest. So despite like losing 1 to 8 almost all of them, I feel we did more or less okay.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like we saw a lot of very heavily damaged mechs through a lot of those drops. It was just that final coup de grace that was missing on some of them.
Yeah, so like at first drop we either should have pushed a little bit earlier when we damaged that crab, or we should have just let me deal a little bit more damage on those medium range because EON was like 2 medium pulses.
Yeah, because I noticed you going wide and they almost rotated around towards you while leaving the rest of your team in a position where they could have pushed.
Yes. As for second and the third drop, I wasn't expecting them to push so aggressively with air large lasers, and we were taking like a lot of PPCs, which aren't like able to kill such an aggressive push. We were expecting them to be like trading from different sides of the map, but they just pushed into us, and that's why we lost the heart on those drops.
Yeah, like the Panther was something I was not expecting, and Darren really played that mech very well on that drop.
They used to play it in like a couple of skirmishes. We had them like not on MRBC but on World Championship. They tried them out, and since they actually think they're better than like 3R Lash Laser Wolfhound. I mean, it's like 35 tonner with jump jets, so probably yes, better quirks.
Yeah, we were talking about it. The only weakness really being that one-sided laser loadout. And again, same problem with the Mad Cats. I think, Di, you were commenting in chat, weren't you, on the Mad Cats being that risk with the firepower, all on the arms?
Yeah, actually was like left torso very orange and CT cord, but I just managed to focus Hubert into a little bit better than he was able. And at the last drop, I pretty much said, okay, guys, we're taking 4 assaults on ballistics, going all meat. Everybody else is just going on flanks. Let's see how it works. And Just one actually.
Yeah, you looked like you were moving with intent through that lower ground there with the assaults. When we saw the two annihilators tucked up, it was like, yeah, that's gonna hurt somebody.
Yeah, and we caught EONs on the rotation because we were able to get into positions a little bit faster than there and just dealt some damage on those annihilators. Then when they dropped down, just focused easy. Then a second annihilator probably was dropped, as far as I remember. Stuff like that. As for first drop, the problem was I think we tried to do some sort of very hard to execute strat, and we weren't able to do it, and that's why we failed.
I noticed that you brought along that Roughneck 3A a couple of times, and I'm looking at going, how much of that was borrowed from Phoenix Legion? After seeing how well it did for them.
We've trained with that Roughneck even with Black Spikes on this week before PHL game, and it's like quite commonly known make for long range when you want something tanky and something with zero large lasers, because it's like way better than Warhammer.
So those armor quirks being key for you in that decision.
Yeah, because you can
survive. Not just the armor and the structure.
Yes, you can like survive longer, trade for longer. Mounts are actually better than on Warhammer. So like it compensates those 5 tons of difference with like armor quirks and with mounts.
Yeah, it's almost free tonnage when you get an armor quirk, isn't it? So it makes that tonnage much less relevant because you already able to carry the payload you want.
Have armor quirks.
Not just that, like the 3A, yeah, it doesn't have any weapon quirks, but meh. At the distances you're playing in comp, you're not sitting there in ultra long range.
So yeah, I guess we have something to learn. Actually, I'm glad we won at least one drop, because as I said, we took quite a lot of new people, which some of which have like almost uncompetitive experience so far.
So yeah. a risk there, but you know they gain experience from playing against some of the best teams.
Yes, and as I said, we just like weren't able to do enough focus on drops from second to fourth. We're trying to execute like a little bit strange strategies, and we weren't expecting EON to go for such a hard long range push on us. If I knew they will be doing so, I would just like take medium range and probably just go into them and kill like we did on the last drop.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're doing something that's different for you guys and then you come up against long range, that really penalizes your ability to move around if people are a little bit unfamiliar with the strategy because you're under fire from that early stage.
Yes, and as I said, we were taking quite a lot of PPCs and weren't like really prepared for such a hard aggressive push from air launch leaders.
Yeah, I mean, story of it really, wasn't it?